Again. Otherwise, maybe I just will copy again. I've done now. Oh, excellent. Two people are coming now. Fine. Yeah, people are coming now. Oh, excellent.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I think know what happened. So I had to just step out and not see the again. Okay, fellas, yeah. People are now coming in now. Great. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Who is Grace?
That's my
Bonoba.
that's my assistant head, sir.
Oh, okay. We can't hear. Oh, there is no voice. Amos. Hello, Amos.
COVID-19 pandemic devastated the world, but it has also demonstrated just how much digital innovations are needed to serve the society. Innovations that make the people smarter, better connected, healthier, precipitating solutions that have a positive impact and relevant local content. Amos Emmanuel, chairman of Programmers Foundation, constant refrain is that change does not happen on its own. It is influenced by people who innovate. He is always calling and urging innovators to rise and occupy leadership positions in every part of the world, particularly in Nigeria. He is a firm believer that the world innovation cannot be complete without leadership contribution from Africa and especially Nigeria. Programmers Foundation Africa, tapping into the growing, the digital awareness, has taken up the challenge to help the continent progress. Programmers Foundation was established in 2009 by Programmers Software Limited, a long-standing leader in the capital market financial technology subsector that saw the need to fund activities help realize the goal to deliver innovation-led ecosystem for Nigerians. Amos Emmanuel, Chairman, Chief Software Architect for Programmers Software Group, is a prolific software designer and entrepreneur. He has served as ICT backbone to numerous financial institutions in Nigeria with over 25 years' experience automating and maintaining more than 100 capital market operator organizations in Nigeria and Ghana with the multiple award-winning Cloud Integra. He is the UN World Summit Awards eminent national expert for Nigeria. Programmers Foundation is engaged in significant work. It is helping Africa harness the power of technology. It is teaching Africa to innovate. The impressive and groundbreaking work that Programmers Foundation has pioneered is particularly important in the light of the United Nations UN Decade of Action on the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). The Decade of Action calls for accelerating sustainable solutions to all the world's biggest challenges, ranging from poverty and gender to climate change, inequality, and closing the finance gap. Technology promises to play a larger-than-life role in this quest. Programmers Foundation, through its work, offers Africa a huge chance and gives her a massive advantage. Programmers Foundation may well be Africa's linchpin. Two important segments of Programmers Foundation's multi-pronged approach include the Innovation Bed Africa and Smart City Project. Innovation Bed Africa is playing a strategic role in identifying and promoting indigenous solutions. Since it emerged on the scene, Innovation Bed has made steady progress. Today, it is a go-to organic platform for startups incubation and multiplication. Without a doubt, Innovation Bed SDGs framework offers Africans a community-based collaborative hub in the areas of mentorship, innovation capacity, development, and entrepreneurship. Indeed, the emergence of an entrepreneurial.
Right, this is to welcome everyone. Good afternoon all.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thanks. And quite honored to have idea heavy and cheap in the market, our darling body. So thank you so very much that we have this opportunity to talk to Tiddo this afternoon. And we feel the context of time that we possibly have to done may actually impact some meaningful things to what we do. And this, of course, directly or indirectly, adds more value or individual values as well as the collective corporate value applied. So thank you so very much. I think in the house I have Madam Grace in our operation. And please let me also note that when I take on the program right now, that documentary has been able to help us in taking the attendance, and people are still coming in. But please let us note that Mr. Adamu, I've made you a co-host, so you can help me with accepting more people coming in as we identify them. So at Duaye, Grace, you are also a host, a co-host. So in the course of my continuation, you might have us to help with admitting more people into the program, as I do not have much time to do so. But you have the capability of admitting people I need. So thank you so very much. Sir, can we just put your welcome message, sir?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Amos. You have been a long-standing friend. We appreciate all your efforts, and we appreciate also your acceptance to run this enlightenment program for us, for the betterment of Tiddo first and foremost, and for mutual benefits subsequently or as a secondary objective. We've been longing for this, and thank God that today we are able to make it. We pray that both parties will benefit from the interaction. People should feel free and ask any questions they want to ask. Mr. Amos is an embodiment of knowledge, especially technology knowledge. I can assure you, we're going to have another Bill Gates in Nigeria if care is not taken. Thank you very much. I don't think I should waste our time. If there are opportunities to say much more than what I have said already, we will say it. But in the meantime, let's listen to him and let's take the best that we can take out of him. Thank you very much. You are welcome, Mr. Amos.
Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you. And of course, distinguished participants, I say good afternoon once again, and you're welcome. So,
only that the line is faint.
Okay. Sound is better. The sound is better now.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Okay. All right. We'll try to see how we spend more of it. All right. So you permit me to share my presentation and talk as notes and all that to be available as well. But then let me just see how. The screen is available, right? Okay, please let's feel free to interact. The screen is available.
It appears there's some interference from your end. I have some gadgets interfering with the voice.
The fan that was on is off now. Is it better?
If your television is on, you can off it, everybody. Thank you.
It was a fan actually, no other device. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So thank you so very much, everyone. So today we will actually be talking on the need for us to invite or perhaps share some understanding around what we possibly can say digital stockbroking, because it's actually not out of place. It's a digital stockbroking because it was actually before us that we actually placed digital banking. You know, and banking actually picked up.
We can barely hear you. It's faint. Check your connections, please.
Yes. The sound actually has their thoughts. Actually. And volume is actually at its highest. Sorry, any better?
Yeah. Hello?
Is it better?
Yeah, a little bit.
The sound is actually off. Let me see. Without the earpiece, is it better?
Much better. In fact, it's perfect.
Oh, without the earpiece. Okay. All right. Oh, great. So thanks. Right, please. I think some more admissions. So, like I said, someone can actually help out on that. So that okay. Yes. Right. So as we said right before us, because digital stockbroking or stockbroking has always been there, while we also had the traditional banking. But before now, digital banking had actually taken off. Of course, in the course of that, because of the time, since 1997, the Nigerian Stock Exchange has actually been having one intervention or the other to automate the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And of course, this process has been kept on, and up till this moment, the story around the stockbroking and capital market practice automation is actually an ongoing affair. So today, we are to look at what exactly digital stockbroking or digital marketing, what could it do in stockbroking of today? Because some of us, we are still in the business of stockbroking as if it's the same old stockbroking, but then stockbroking has moved. You know, stockbroking has actually moved from where we used to know stockbroking when most of the time investors are always on the road. And I think sometimes we measure how big we are by how much of our reception or hall, by how much of our customers or investors that are halls could even admit in those days. But today, perhaps nobody is even making such movements. So rather, we're having more strategic means by which services are rendered to these customers, and they are almost doing whatever it is they need to do with you from the comfort of their homes. So in a summary, we'll look at what digital marketing is in a nutshell, with how this can be applied to stockbroking, as well as perhaps look at digital stockbroking marketing as it used to be, and perhaps try to have a comparison traditional with digital stockbroking of today. What is the traditional and how it is, and what's the benefit of the variation? Then types of stockbroking marketing concepts and part of the tools and all that, and the potentials that are available in the country. And sometimes towards the end, we want to know how and where can we learn or take some more lessons in digital marketing that in a way that can actually help what we do. So I think we'll just get into more of this. And digital marketing, simply put, can be described as any marketing that uses online platforms and electronic devices to convey promotional messaging and measure its impact. You know, if you actually have a means through social media, electronic medium, where you are able to communicate, project, and of course, send notifications to prospective investors or customers using online medium. So you can actually say that you are actually trying to imbibe a digital marketing unit. Today, we often say that the marketing personnel of stockbroking firm, the kind of, do I say the manpower for marketing of stockbroking, as we used to have it in those years, may no longer be the same way any longer today going forward. In fact, you realize that more of IT-oriented people are more likely to deliver the best marketing models that could work for a typical organization today. So the more of the IT you know, the more of the exposure to IT tools, the better it is that you will be able to, you will be able to manage stockbroking as a way of operating capital markets of today. So like you simply put in here that digital marketing has taken the financial markets, stockbroking inclusive, has been radically shaped by digitization. In Nigeria, traditional or full service brokers have always enjoyed a dominant presence and preference among investors. Digital marketing in stockbroking has changed the way people buy financial products. It has totally changed the way people buy financial products. I remember in those years, I'm sure Tiddo was present in almost more than 10 units or branches that I know. Then, with the power of the internet today, you are even unlimited by anywhere, by the kind of nodes that you can ever create around the country, anywhere in the world. So it almost means that anywhere you have a device that could connect the data or information of Tiddo, in fact, it's as good as you have in a branch. So it's now unlimited, but then we're actually not looking at physical regions, physical branches per se, because a physical branch today will now be almost like an intelligent site, offering services that coordinate with the head office. Because some years back, when we get share certificates that used to be very popular in those years, share certificates, people come in with share certificates, you issue script receipts at different places. Information are put in very decentralized manner. People in Kano, Kaduna, Jos Plateau, every other place, or Lagos, are collecting their own data, doing their own thing, and their items and data are actually all in isolation. So you now realize that integrating these bits was almost a very difficult thing to do. But you see, as an organization, your data is an information. Your piece of data is actually what is going to give you a collective. When you process your data and need information, it is best for an organization such as Tiddo when all that you have can be centralized and can best be seen at a glance, and will this also inform every other subunits of the organization almost real time. So this is actually the power of the time of the era of now going to the cloud, because it just didn't happen. It happened also by the way the exchange has handled automation at the market, and now gave room to how brokers and dealers have to connect and to also operate on a daily basis. So digital marketing has taken a leap over others in the ways people interact and explore stocks. It has created a viral effect where people compare and get impressed with financial products or services, influence others to buy the financial product or financial services. So this paper ordinarily will discuss how innovative technologies and is aiding and refining the core of the Nigerian stockbroking industry and its marketing. To continue, the Nigerian Stock Exchange actually migrated to cloud-based solutions, which offer higher accuracy, convenience, and top-notch technology-enhanced customer experiences. For example, seamless account opening and automation of the stockbroking processes that aids and improve decision-making by both company and, of course, its clients. So the marketing system should be upgraded and aligned with the fast-changing digital environment. Innovations, platforms, etc. are already evolving, that without this being recognized in your own organization, you realize that you may not be taking advantage of the pace and at the speed at which some of these things are actually happening. Right. Now, stockbroking firm should not only provide platforms for making decisions, but also provide platforms that help in making well-informed decisions and judgments. This can be done and disseminated through analytical information on websites, chat applications, blogs, webinars, enable users with tools, data points, information, etc. If I may ask, how often, or perhaps when, was the last time you have like a customer forum? Or do we even have a customer forum where some of these IT things are being put together and your customers have perhaps an opportunity to even listen to what you have, listen to what is new, not just by sending them mails or notifications, but then that level of engagement digitally makes a lot of sense to engage customers. So for instance, so many customers that might be there in your databases, they do not have telephone numbers, they do not have email addresses, and for you to imbibe online environment, this is almost like the very early stage of the work process that must be done by a typical stockbroking firm, perhaps that are putting like 10, 15 years into this market. For the newer people, they're already starting with the new principles. They're already almost going through and using the governance system of the new technological era. But for the older ones, we started businesses when somebody ordinarily just calls someone, and for some reason an account is open, we may not even know where the person lives. Telephone number wasn't there, email wasn't there. So there is need for data cleaning. There's actually need for data cleaning, taking advantage of the digital nature of where we are going. If your data is not cleaned up, the effort may just be in vain. In vain in the sense that if you have about 9,000 as a kind of size of customers, and just 1,000 has the valid access parameters or details such as email, telephone number, and almost 8,000 does not have it. I think there's a problem because we are actually almost like shooting ourselves in the foot by actually not taking advantage of how the best way we can reach out to all these people to ensure that let's even get that first level engagement. The only first level of engagement to somebody should be such that if I tap a button, something should be able to get to connect with that person digitally, and that is the way people actually sell over the internet. So one of the fastest and reliable ways of attracting more customers across the nation of the earth is through digital marketing. Through today, technology is available almost everywhere. You can engage in processes and transactions from anywhere in the world with a mobile phone and good internet connection. Whether good internet connection or not, one good thing about the infrastructure in Nigeria presently is that even the internet that is currently available in the ecosystem, as may have been reported by the Nigerian Communication Commission, we have had so much, but you know what? We have not even been able to consume this availability. We've not been able to consume them into very innovative products that can take us to where we are going. So there is actually more to encouraging more innovations, more ideas that can actually let us optimize the benefit of using this same internet. 5G or no 5G is not, without 5G, it does not mean that we are not making progress. Quite a lot of progress is actually being made, but there's a lot we can still do. 5G is just to say that the biggest of the big is still possible ahead, but then we need to practice and use technology to its optimal before perhaps we can even appreciate the 5G technology. And as most people think that 5G is end to life, perhaps so many comments have been mentioned about the 5G, but we all know every brand new thing will always face, rejects. People who actually will have opinion, will have issues about it, especially when COVID set in, and that people feel 5G had an impact or had anything to do with COVID. But then, while technological aspects of stockbroking is being improved on, building awareness of how and where clients should invest is the core of stockbroking, which attracts more customers. And I think we're actually doing so well in this area. But quite frankly, it's not just for the analytics. But do you know that today, the level at which we have been doing arm and shoulder research and all of those things, the plot charts all over, is all over. People are looking for more innovative services that put a dime, a kobo, 2, 3 in your pocket rather than watching a chart going up or down. I'm not interested in looking at the arm and shoulder, but then I want to see how the dollars are moving in my pockets. And that is the extent, the stage at which investors are interested in now. Before now, it was very expensive to get onto, is it Bloomberg or Bloomberg, some of these very high rating, research rating tools that are being used in analytics in capital markets. But we realize that today, we are not interested in those. The fancies of watching the chart go up or come down or centralize or demonstrate in any particular way. Investors actually want the best of the yield, and this should interpret in putting a dime into his pocket, and that is not changing anywhere. So there's now this competition. The competition today, therefore, is that because we know that the appetite of a typical investor is so high, you just have to be as competitive as possible. You can have all the best tools in the world, but the fact is that if you're actually not putting them to the proper use, you actually may not be getting anywhere. So the use of technology is also very important. What is the use? I have it, I'm not using it. So the need was the reason why we actually opted for these tools, these solutions, these services. Once you have them, it should be put to proper use for the effect to be seen in the organization. So that's why we said that educating both current and potential customer too is key. Through awareness and advice in the form of soft recommendation will attract more customers to invest in the stock market. And only firms that are technologically sound with its operations and in digital marketing can do this, effectively. So that now brings us to the fact that in your organization, digital stockbroking or digital marketing unit is a very important role in the life of any stockbroking organization today, because our landscape that governed marketing has changed. It has not just started. The journey has been far. It started long ago, but it's just that many people are just catching up recently. But then in either way, you get to know that it is important you do the right thing to be in a competitive race. Digitalized communication of content or offerings creates a far-reaching impact and penetration than the former traditional marketing systems of cold calls on individuals and their homes or offices. Agents or jobbers, as we call them, we know how they are all over the place, all over looking for businesses and all of that, which was just cool. But then there are better ways these people can now put their set of work together and be able to relate with their brokers, all in the name of enhancing business transactions. So the referral aspect of the traditional marketing can be done more effectively through online platforms. And this is the need for these discussions that we're having today. Now, technology has caused phenomenal changes in the financial services industry in recent years. Stockbrokers have to adapt to these changes because it uses the stockbroking activities to, it takes to a wider audience. Social media is the powerful tool through which stockbrokers can connect with their current and prospective clients, thereby aiding their marketing system. If there was ever any marketing system, what was the marketing system? Okay, we have somebody who perhaps is looking for business in the National Assembly, or perhaps we have them in some ministries across Abuja. We were almost having physical presence in certain places because we'll be there to see the next persons that we want to meet. But then the approach may not necessarily be that way anymore, because that approach may not be cost effective, that approach might not be security wise, and so on and so forth. So taking advantage of the online presence, online availability of provisions can actually go a long way to helping the new approach today. So we actually go to say that social media is the powerful tool through which stockbrokers can actually connect with their current and prospective clients, thereby aiding that marketing system. It is the rising and emerging trend in the world today. Users can easily share links, ideas, pictures, messages with other users. And of course, I mean, more results are actually gotten. And if you see that in digital marketing for stockbroking, you realize that it allows you to even create campaigns that appear on mobile phones, laptops, web mails, some bot chats, and some other blogs and the likes. And it's actually very important that we begin to go in sync with this content of this realization that stockbroking of today, sincerely, is no longer the stockbroking as it used to be some years back. Okay, so some of the points we just might want to note to rest on that could just be that the major benefit is that it reduces cost. Yes, your overall cost, you can imagine, the overall cost of marketing actually sincerely is reduced. You know, a global audience market can be targeted. Variety of sources, which include social media platforms, websites, Google ads, are all available to be adopted. And in this simple page, I just want to share what it looks like from digital marketing of today and the traditional marketing of what we used to know as it used to be before. You know, digital marketing today is more cost effective. You know, a large number of audience. Imagine ordinary one person on Facebook alone or Instagram can record followership. And don't forget, whoever is doing that as an entity is offering, is only selling one thing or two. And besides, it's just one entity, or either corporate or individual. But you wonder sometimes, just one person, they own about 1 million in terms of size of followership. Okay, you may want to ask, why are they following that handle? What is special about them? So people follow people for different reasons. And you may want to actually project what exactly you want to be known for. And that could be your core line of business, which is the business of stockbroking, for instance. Now, if you look at digital marketing in terms of point of where we are with it, it is cost effective, a large number of audience, like we said again, variety of sources, high conversion rate, measurable results, immediate communication, instant. You send it now, they get it now. But look at traditional. You were in his house. You didn't even meet him. Oh, you were to go back. You were there a first time, a second time. You've not even gotten any feedback anyway, and nobody perhaps even know that you were there. And marketers actually were mobile. You had a lot of fleet cars all over the place, pulling all over. And you say, this is the marketing pool. I know you can imagine, not only in stockbroking, even the banks were worse. Banks today, do you know that with the emergence of fintech, banks are on a race because there are new innovation that is bringing about the idea of how a bank can reach their next customer. So it may not necessarily be about keeping a lady, a driver, a pool car, and they are on the road just for being on the road sake. No, it does not start on the road. It started from one online point to another online point. Why they're on the road is because they want to meet up with a physical meeting mandated by an earlier or a prior agreement that, yes, we communicated through the virtual medium. Now, if you look at traditional marketing, in that mode, it was expensive. In fact, one of the things to be put here is like in today's, it will become more insecure. Limited audience, non-versatile, low conversion rate, results cannot even, we couldn't measure conversion. Like I'm speaking for somewhere very close to Lekki toll gate here in Lagos. We are familiar with all those billboards, and you can imagine how much people pay for those large billboards with neon lights. But do you know something? Having put in so much in such neon lights, you really lack the fact that you cannot measure how many people have passed there that have seen the billboard. What's your chances of that expenditure to growing whatever it is you are marketing for in the first place? So traditional marketing wasn't measurable. But you see, in online, you know and have an idea of people accessing you, reaching you, or who you are reaching. So there's a whole lot of difference. And your decision, you can take a decision because you now know that millions of people are after you. The next is, what can I put on the table for these people for better growth of what I'm doing? So engaging the size of people over the internet is endless. You can't just compare it, you know? So a few discussions around there is that we say here more that digital marketing helps you to reach a larger audience than you could through traditional methods and target the prospects who are most likely to buy your product or service. These people are most likely to buy your product because they had that interest where they have to even be on your network, be on your handle in the first place. You know, so additionally, it is often more cost effective than additional advertising and enables you to measure success on a daily basis and pivots you to see how it best fits. Now, so digital marketing specialists, you know, people who are now involved with all this, who are they? What do they do? So you can begin to hear people like digital marketing specialists and who are responsible for helping maintain a brand by working on marketing campaigns. Tiddo, if you have a marketing campaign that is concentrated on attention to how the customers can benefit from investing in the Nigerian capital markets, you are top there, and it should be regular, it should be consistent, and the information should be top-notch, and it has to be sustained. You see, their duty include performing market research, because you don't just throw a wrong information. Do you know something about when you say marketing, there's an opposite that says demarketing. There's some things you do sometimes, and you don't know that what you are doing is already a demarketing action. So these people are trained. They may not understand your stockbroking very well, but when they are in the organization, they get to learn what you do and are able to better put it in better perspective for digital market content development. They are unique, they are special people, and they have their brand in the new world order. Now, their duties, like I said, include performing market research, strategizing with other marketing professionals. Like I told you, they may not have that core competence of your profession by default, but they will need to learn where they want to pass, do their work. So, and creating contents to aid in the success of marketing campaigns. So content marketing, article writing, these are things that attract people to what you do. Tell them what you do. We are not saying that we are already a perfect person, but I'm just saying that these are the lessons that almost every human has to learn to be able to change and engage and learn and take advantage of the ecosystem using the power of digital marketing and technology provisions. Then you also have people like the SEO managers, the search engine optimization people. The SEO managers are responsible for planning, implementing, and managing companies' overall SEO strategy. You know, some people might come to you and say, man, I have this I can do for Tiddo. Okay? You probably want to doubt, but guess what? They always have a way of bringing a wand and say that, man, I could take Tiddo to this point. And perhaps you want to also challenge them. You say that if they do this, they get their percentage. And it was always good. It's just like you being a portfolio manager and saying that I can guarantee you this, but if I can do this, this is what I need. So these things are so. So new professions, people are coming who are more confident. They are very confident in what they do, and they don't do less, unless if they are also new, that they are really not being faithful or truthful about what they say they can do. But then one thing about capital, about the digital market and of course the internet environment is that it's a social well-being and is available for everybody. And the luck we also have is that the issues of trust, which seems to be the world's biggest problem, is being managed because now the concepts of blockchains are now helping to mitigate the excesses of trust problems that I do not need to work with a saint every time. But because there is something called best practice, and best practice in so many places have been subjected to blockchain technologies, then I do not need to be afraid of the fact that you are being fraudulent, because myself and yourself riding on the same platform, doing the same things, will be subjected to the same best practice blockchain technologies that will deliver the trust and relative concerns that will make me safe in your hands and you also safe in my hands. So the world is actually moving towards that balance engagement. That is not about, oh, you just being a 419er, you cannot do business with the West, you can't do business with the South and the rest. But then the world today frankly, they're a lot more happier with themselves because the issues of trust are balancing out. Okay, then they usually cover a wide variety of duties such as web marketing, web analytics, content strategy planning, linking building, and of course, keyword strategy. They have a way of, making you say, if you say Tiddo could just, in fact, mouth-watering, could just get you some fantastic information just over the same internet. But some people have this experience and potential more than others, and some of these people can really be very helpful. Then email marketing specialist, responsible for developing email marketing campaign strategy and tactics to deliver persuasive messages, branding, social media marketing, Google ads, web development, video production, app development, etc. And you have what we call the PPC people. These PPCs are pay-per-clicks. You can imagine or wonder how people make money on YouTube, and that remains their business on a daily basis. Because some of us follow certain YouTubers and we are so happy and confident with them. Every day we laugh at their skits and so on and so forth, not knowing that the laugh that you are laughing is what is making their own day in terms of they're going to the bank for their monies. So, and based on the clicks is what they're making their monies on. So PPC specialists are experts in internet advertising, responsible for planning and optimizing the effectiveness of online advertising campaigns, which is the pay-per-click thing. And then is a term used to refer to paid advertising on the internet, usually through Google AdWords or Bing ads. Now, some statistics, we had to just draw some things within Nigeria. We sometimes underestimate the powers that we have within. If you want to relate this with some other African countries where their population is lower, you realize that perhaps we'll be feeling, oh, what we have here, we've not even started. Because the population from Nigeria, if you begin to look at Nigeria, that it has a population of about 2.8 or 8.8 in January 2021, reported. Then about 52.3% of Nigeria's population lives in urban centers, while 47.7% live in the rural areas. What does this draw to? Most of the time, the reach of the size of people pays your business, and that's actually what the target is. And at the same time, as we spoke about the last time, that as more penetration of internet moves from the urban more into the rural, you realize that fresh business ideas are.
No, Amos, can you go back to the previous page? Sorry.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Right.
Can you elaborate on that PPC? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The PPC, I said, is actually a pay-per-click concept. It's a concept, on social media where certain information pops up on your screen. It is expected that it will create an appetite. People want to see what is behind it. People want to see what is behind it. As people click, they are actually, given an opportunity for a particular marketing content to be read, to be consumed, or perhaps it could even lead to a transaction. So these are opportunities, and this is actually how people sell over the internet. So the pay-per-click, means that the more the clicks, the more monies that the owner of that channel, that handle, ends. And you see people now being decorated. Like I see YouTube actually decorates them when they attain their maybe 100,000 mark. They'll give them, they'll send them with an image, like an award or something, celebrating with them having attained such a mark that is encouraging them to do more. Like the present trend that we see today about our arts and creative industry is that as soon as many other aspects of our economy are being disrupted, the entertainment industry is also disrupted. And as soon as they are now disrupted, the very initial and key players of that sector are unable to catch and cope with the trends of technology. So younger ones are now the ones picking this up. But the younger ones are picking the technology, and that in such a manner that they may not be delivering the right creative arts disposition in the right professional ways, because the elderly ones and the older, practitioners of that industry are unable to cope with the emergence of the new technologies. Even to have virtual programs like this, so many of them are unable when all these things happen. But then they are all forced, just like we're all forced to learn to talk over Zoom, to learn to even send mails, to learn to even do those things that we never thought it happened, thank God, to COVID, because COVID really created the provocation across different areas that people now found the need for them to get closer to the internet, get to kind of improve their cultural system around the internet so that they can become closer and more, because now being closer to the internet is now a new, what I can say is the new civilization. It's actually the new civilization. Now, some old singers today, if you say Zoom, I had a meeting some time ago, a minister was to be there, only to later know that even the minister was not comfortable to get online because he was still learning how to use Zoom. So you see, everybody is actually challenged at this. Now, and as we just mentioned all of this before, we can just look at it generally, that in course of all what we're talking about now, in summary, you can actually be looking at trying to begin to brand what you have and what you do in Tiddo. Try to imbibe social media for good, because there's also social media for the wrong things. Now, the content you have, the content marketing has to just be something that you must have researched. Not just that you have researched, it must be researched, it must be applicable to what your kind of service, your tradition, what you do, what you represent. So that being said, the email marketing, this is a composition, a whole department. This is the kind of vision they can just begin to see in what manner they can begin to pull these ideas together in this entire summary. And in a nutshell, this would go a long way to producing the kind of representative projects, information or digital marketing thing that will solve or help the stockbroking services and products of Tiddo Securities, even to the extent of producing videos. If it has to do with a video of how a customer can be helped with a common challenge. Now, the app development has to do with, oh, I have a new idea. There is actually no end to developing apps to match what you need. There's no end. Now, the web development, everything, in fact, apart from you notice that for all this that we have said, we have not even mentioned our back office. Our back office continues. Even the back office is even now disrupted because we really don't even see what work is there anymore now. We really don't see it. I've started, we start the process today, for instance, oh, the market opens, brokers are trading. As soon as market closes, I really don't see any job for anybody to do after 2:30. Though I'm not saying that everybody should go home at the time, but then if I say go home, they'll say programmers and said everybody should go home. But I'm just telling you that the better time you now have is perhaps to better advance the strategy ahead of staying on top. And this is like a summary of being able to achieve that. Okay, we were sharing part of the items about Nigeria, and I think the data here is just about how we can see the data usage, the social media usage in Nigeria, to say that if you have not started, quite a lot of people are already doing it. You can imagine there are about 33 million social media users in Nigeria as of January 2021. So a lot more people are coming. So it's becoming that network, it's becoming that platform where almost practically everything happened. Everything happened in that place now. So it's just something to imbibe. You also see that the number of social media users in Nigeria increased by 6 million and all of that. Whoever is doing the counting, I'm sure some people are just perhaps just looking at how these interactions and activities are taking shape or actually engaging the internet. And I'm sure quite a couple of data organizations are doing some work and that they're able to release some of this data to the public. I think I will say that after that, the next is, well, I want to know where can I learn digital marketing? Where can we learn digital marketing? There are 1,000,001 options over the internet. A few we have just brought here. You have Coursera programs, you have Udemy programs from Google and EDX, and of course the HubSpot. Some of these projects might just start for free, and of course at the individual lesson, I think it goes a long way to helping an organization actually learn some of this new from all these market ready and available opportunities as they are. Some types of jobs in digital market, like you mentioned, we have actually mentioned some of them earlier on. That's digital marketing specialist, the SEO manager, they may be doing some unique things just to let you know how broad that digital marketing can be. That within digital marketing, there can be a lot of other possible things that people do. And one of it is like a specialization over the other. Look at the graphic designer, because people can do marketing, but if you don't have that very good graphic acumen, you may not be able to deliver. So the work of the graphic designer today is still very, very important, because the web designer needs that, the digital marketer needs the designer, and so on and so forth. And now look at that. Some other unique specialization now exists by way of UX, IX designers, who are now helping you to design how your mobile app can look like, how your web application can look like. And they all, of course, do this for money. And these are new professions which perhaps before now were not important. They were not there. I think in general nutshell, I have done this, and we might want to take discussions. So generally, we can now get back to our works and share more from your perspective. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Amos. CD, can you now take the lead and let us ask questions and seek for clarifications, and if we have also comments to make.
Or perhaps, let me just, sorry, if I may ask my colleague if there's any other area we've not touched. Madam Grace?
Yeah, so they will, I mean, he will lead us.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
All right. Good afternoon. Once again, Mr. Amos, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. You've touched on a lot of areas where Tiddo seem to have a gap, and the need for this discussion actually. Let me just start by highlighting some of the areas that I may need some clarification before allowing my other colleagues to also say whatever they have, or maybe ask their own questions. While you were doing the presentation, you touched on areas like seamless account opening, digital marketing. You've discussed on it extensively, and that is our vision actually to become a digital service provider. So whatever it takes or whatever we need to do to achieve that is what we'll be interested in getting solution for, or getting guidance from you about. So about the seamless account opening, how do we really achieve that? That's the first question. On the digital marketing, what structure do we need to set up that kind of team to drive the vision? So you may want to elaborate on maybe the skill set of those particular individuals that who need to perhaps engage to offer that service. And along the line, while you were also discussing, You mentioned something about referral model. What kind of structure can we adopt to leverage growth using that referral strategy? I think I'll stop there, and maybe when my colleagues also, or when you respond to this, and then if I have further questions, I will ask.
So how do you want it, Amos?
All right.
Is it that we assemble all the questions, you answer them, or you want to
Actually,
put it like it?
it would be best, I think, for time, let's take all the questions, and I think it might even be viable that I can even share better and quality responses on the results officially, as it were, because even sometimes even responding today might not be very realistic, but it's good to take all the questions so that we don't cut questions. But perhaps let me just talk briefly about the very first set that I just got.
Oh, okay, just hold on.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tumba, are you there? Mr. Tumba. Hello, Abdullahi. Tumba. Okay, you can go on.
Right. So let me just take this first set. The first is about talking about the account opening that could be seamless. I'm sure you are aware that when you open account indoor, there is a possibility that the account you open indoor is automatically being opened in CSCS. That is one. So these are part of the added opportunities that CSCS has provided, and this has been possible by the ISVs, that the API provided by CSCS now makes that to be possible. And the good thing about that is that from the API, it makes it a lot easy that you really don't have to have this forth and back between the broker and CSCS for sake of account opening, and that can be as seamless as possible. And I think that's actually a major plus. That is also an item of technology. Then the other one about the model, if I may remember, you talked about the model of distribution. Now, this particularly can be in your approach of communication. It can be in your approach of communication because, like I mentioned, the different potentials or capacities or skill sets of people who are into digital marketing. To be frank with you, it's not all boxed in one. No one person can actually have all those skills. The skills sometimes are reserved based on the professionalism or the background of each of these practitioners. Like we mentioned the graphic designer, for instance. Very few people have graphic design, as a skill. But then those who have graphic design as a skill may not even know how they consume or use their graphics. But then look at a digital marketer who has an idea and has spoken with the graphics designer. The graphics designer will follow the request of that digital marketer. He gets him an artwork that fits what he wants. And once he gets it, the graphic designer, the digital marketer will just, of course, be able to consume that artwork in the best way he wanted to use them. It's just like the cartoonists. In newspapers, before now, we are familiar with cartoons. When those cartoons carry the kind of messages they carry, it may not necessarily be that it is actually the man with the content for cartoon that actually put up those graphic works. It could be the artwork. Maybe he has an artist who actually knows how to draw and was able to give him the impression that he was trying to make, which is the graphic impression. But then his cartoon will just write on it. And when we read in the newspapers, we feel, happy seeing them. So these things have, people have different skills, and it's like they have to work together. So as an organization that is not an IT company like Tiddo, please let us don't forget the fact that even the digital bankers, the digital bankers now are being challenged by digital banks that are coming up. So in a way, these banks are already creating like an IT equivalent of their businesses. No, if you follow what GT Bank has just done, they've actually floated a fintech. So this fintech will be that set of units that is already having all these ideas together, and they can actually plug and play, and of course put every information in the way that Tiddo as an organization wants to drive. So people are beginning to look at that kind of a thing, that, oh, can we create even a fintech to Tiddo? So before now, bankers have existed, and bankers have I've known a bank in India like IDBI. IDBI is a popular bank in India. I've had relationship with their fintech organization, which is purely IT, and they serve the bank as well as serve many other banks in India. So that model, we should not forget that fact that is also in the pipeline. Because if you are looking at that unit as not just the IT that is attending to this, that IT should be like something that should project further into offering the appropriate IT services that Tiddo looks forward to in being in this competition. So it could be, of course, it's a fintech thing in nature, because they come with all that it matters to offer such services for the benefit of Tiddo at large. Because we may not be able to say, oh, you being the broker immediately turn to a digital marketer. But quite frankly, the IT man of the company is quicker to become a part of the team I'm talking about, because it's his job and is more closer to even sometimes being the lead and head of marketing, because marketing right now rests in the hand of a technology. You know, it rests in the hand of a technology person, because that technology person will be would have the better and the broadest idea as to how you want to project this business in that light. So it's now more driven by technology and not more by man and his movements or contacts. But then the build-up of the content that you build is the quality information, because the database you have is a lot of data. That is actually, you are good that you already have that. After all, some people don't even have it yet. So that is actually a large asset. And don't forget that people even buy this data off the shelf. Some people just sell data, contacts of people, and you write them, would you want to invest with us, and things like that. But you already own data that you can optimize profitability in terms of your operations. So that model is not really cast in stone that it must be in one particular direction, as it were. If I'm able to address some of them, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you have spoken to some of them. Yeah. I'll allow my other colleagues to also make comments or ask questions while we perhaps also put together the complete questions that comes from every other participant or our other colleagues that are even not present here, so that you can address them as you have suggested.
I can suggest that so that can have a combination.
All right.
This video is
So
not
please, any of the team members can go ahead to make comments. Comments, please.
I wanted to even hear from Grace. It's like her sound was bad. Grace, is your sound okay? Can you try again? They want to hear from you. You are the digital marketer for programmers, not me.
Thank you, sir. Is it okay now?
Very well, excellent.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, as they prepare to maybe make their comments, I don't know whether I can add this follow-up question to the initial one. Yeah. So regarding that proposition on having an ideal or workable digital marketing team, what's the cost implication like? Because as it is now, take it that that's not in place in Tiddo, and then we want to have that in place.
I hope I've not missed much.
So Not much.
Not much, just that we were taking an additional comment or question. You wanted to know, if I'm right, you wanted to know that since this is like something new as a unit, what could perhaps be the cost implication? I think in all fairness, is actually not cast in stone that it is not cast in stone that these amounts are actually something that we know in this part of the world. Perhaps in the US, yes, they are good at pegging and giving you all these payments in dollar terms. And you know, for some of us, when you mention dollar, we're always afraid. So, but then, but then, quite frankly, they sometimes can be seen. It can be seen in a manner whereby sometimes you may even start from a freelance model, because such is available. But then, like I say, it might be an internal opinion, internal policy. Assuming you start from a freelance model, and this freelance model may be impacting internal capacity, to be frank with you, that model and this model, I think, could be a better idea. People are already doing it, inviting them to freelance with helping with the continuation of the, from time to time, developing an internal capacity to deliver what you want, maybe a more fairer, more sustainable model, so that it should be something you own. Because quite frankly, some of these things may not be something that an outsider can offer your organization. But then if you can start with a just suggestion, if you can start with a model that gets like a freelance to be with the capacity and train them over time, have some internal production and guidelines, and they're able to meet up and sustain, and you now own this unit to run with, I think it could be good for the life of the business.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So is this something you can do for us, like recommend somebody to address that, maybe the freelancing of the thing, so we can now look at timelines and then set up structures to see how that comes through?
That's feasible. That's feasible, sir.
Oh, that's great.
And
so
please,
sorry, while you were responding to the issue of seamless account opening, you mentioned something about API integration. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I actually hear very well when I have my earpiece, but when I'm to talk, I need to remove it.
Okay. Okay, so as it's just a follow-up question, while you were responding to the issue of account opening, the seamless account opening, you mentioned something about API integration with the CSCS and all that. My question is actually specific to a process that allows an end-to-end achievement, from onboarding to, I mean, application to onboarding, everything done without physical interaction. You know, so the back end aspect, how do we address that as a company, Tiddo now?
Sorry.
The CSCS aspect I understand, but from our own.
Let me explain that it may not be, when these accounts are opened, they actually do not just get opened on their own. It does not take away the responsibility of the account opening responsibility of the firm. What this simply does is that once these accounts are opened in your internal application, there is that capability that once you are opening it, like for instance, in my application, Cloud Integra, there is that possibility that there's an API that account opening can ride over an API provided by CSCS, and that account not only drop in Cloud Integra, it gets verified over the process of CSCS, and the account and CSCS number is allocated automatically, and the account will just drop into your application internally. That is what that problem resolved.
Oh, okay.
That's what it resolved. But not just that on its own.
And how effective? Because I hear people complaining a lot about this
I know.
interface.
I also had an issue with it when I started. But then it depends. It's been forth and back on some of these things. But then, we know it's a doable thing that can be perfected. But it's more, what they tried doing there was just to curb, the forth and back of you trying to open an account, and I think that was still a good thing to implement.
All right, thank you. Sir, you can.
Amos, I think you need to engage with CD after this meeting. Let us have a program of action on how to go about this. Perhaps the relevant people that can help us in doing the setup. Please, with timelines, if possible. Of course, if it's without timelines, that means we are not aiming at anything. So we have to have timelines for this. If possible, we want it like yesterday, because that's why we're so concerned. And we had to even beg you for this webinar. So it's something that is of great concern to us, and we are holding it so dear to our hearts, that technology should work for us, not for us to be working while we have technology. We want to minimize that human interface as much as possible, so that we can have a system that is running, that is seamless, that is accurate, and so on and so forth. We really count on your support in this regard. And CD, I think you better link up with him. Is Abdullah Tumba on the line? I've tried to reach him on the phone. Has he joined at any point in time?
I'm not sure.
Amos, can you remember seeing anybody, Abdullah, trying to join?
Okay, I can see him, sir. He's online.
Abdullah Tumba, yeah.
He's there.
So if he's online, what's happening? I've been trying to reach him because I'm sure he should have questions to ask. Okay, so please, CD and Amos, can we have a workable plan of action and maybe timelines and, if you like, deliverables, so that we can progress in this matter? We don't want this to be just a talk shop. We want this to be something that can be converted to reality. We should walk the talk. Okay?
All right, sir.
Please. I would really appreciate, and I can even carry on my back.
Thank you, thank you. Auntie Grace, your comments?
Come, our interim digital marketing committee, you guys have to speak up now. We have an expert who is ready to help us. Where is Tina? Where is Ismaila? Where is Hawa and all the other guys? Mohammed Sada, where is he? All of you must speak, please. This is the time to clean up all the gray areas you have. Mohammed Sada, are you there? Mohammed Sada.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, please, you should speak up. I think you attended the webinar, and you must have gathered something and then compared with what we have, and try to ask the relevant questions so that we get things sorted out. You may be at the center of this thing,
Yes, the questions I wanted to ask have already been.
There's something, please check whether you are sitting near a television or something. Somebody is interrupting your voice. If you are using headphones, you should remove them, please, so that we can hear you clearly. Thank you. Thank you. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. You have the floor, please.
Yes, I said the questions I wanted to ask have already been addressed by Mr. CD. They've already been answered, so I have nothing more to add for now.
Given all that has been said, and given the background of you being an IT expert, are you in a position to start championing this thing and being at the center of it?
Yes, I could start the digital marketing aspects.
Which aspect can you not start?
I
hope you attended the webinar from beginning to end.
From beginning to end, yes.
All right, fine. So So are you the person that we can now be, you can now be the rallying point so that we get the thing off?
No problem.
So
Right.
I think we have just created a new job now because there has to be a digital marketing chief. So the man there that I just spoke is the chief digital marketer of the house.
Well, in acting capacity until he can perform.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And when we are confirming him, it is going to be a big ceremony, and we'll invite you. And maybe even the Minister of Digital Communications, maybe to come and grace the occasion. No, we mean it. This
okay.
project is so dear to our heart,
Yes.
and it's so critical to our success that we cannot afford to have anybody drop the ball. I mean, we are serious about this and we must get it.
Right. I wanted to hear from Grace. Is your sound okay now? Your parting comments?
I have listened to all the questions, and of course, we're going to put things in place and get in touch, then work with what we
Oh, no, the sound is bad. The sound is bad.
sounds bad.
Yes,
Oh,
if you are using headphones, can you remove them?
Don't worry.
I've removed it. I'm not using headphone now.
I'm so sorry about
I've
that.
removed.
Is your television near you? You should off it.
No, I've switched off everything. My phone.
Okay,
No.
yeah, she's working from the phone. All right, no problems. Just to confirm that I did my work,
I
right?
think it's windy here. That's why.
Thank you. All right, thank you so very much, sirs. Perhaps in the absence of any other thing, next time we're going to have lunch. It was because we started after lunch period. That's why there's no lunch. So,
so you have digital lunch? I'm
Yeah,
interested in that.
Yeah, you download your meals into your flash drives.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's
so
interesting.
Thank you so very much.
All right, I'll get in touch with you so we can take the
Excellent.
conversation forward, and then
so thank you so very much,
we'll
sir.
see how we can run.
That's okay. That's okay. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you, and may God bless you.
Amen.
For helping us do this.
Thank you.
And please, any other time you have interesting topics to deliver,
yes,
we are readily available. And if you also have areas that we need your help, we'll also look for you. I hope you'll not be tired of us.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all, sir.
Right.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.